Hi everyone, I am Sambaya Pelluri, Assistant Professor in Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering. Here, I am teaching linear ICs and applications. So today, I am going to give a course introduction. See, in the previous semesters, you have studied electronic devices and circuits, electronic circuit analysis. Okay, so these are the different circuit subjects. In those subjects, you have studied different systems using the discrete components. For example, you have studied amplifier. Okay, so that amplifier is designed with BJT, diodes, transistors and capacitors. So this course is mainly about integrated circuits. Here we make all the systems using integrated circuits. In this course, there are total 5 units. Okay, so let's see a detailed explanation of each unit. So the first unit is about the fundamentals of linear ICs. So here, first we study about integrated circuits. What is an integrated circuit? What is the difference between integrated circuit and discrete circuit? And what are the advantages of integrated circuits? So first we discuss those things in this unit. Later, so next, what are the different ICs and different IC packages. ICs are generally available in different packages: metal can package, dual inline package and flat package. So in the basic electronic devices and circuits lab, you have seen the BC 107. Okay, so it is the metal can package. Okay, and in this semester you are going to do lab experiments using DIP package ICs. Later, so the important component is operational amplifier. After introduction to the integrated circuits, we discuss about the operational amplifier, which is very important for any electronic system. So it is available in integrated circuit form, that is 741. So later, after introduction to the operational amplifier, we see ideal and practical characteristics of 741. So later we discuss a few applications of 741. Those are inverting, non-inverting, summing and difference amplifiers. These topics we discuss in unit 1. The second unit is totally about applications of operational amplifier. Here, the op-amp can be operated in 3 modes: open loop configuration, positive feedback configuration, and negative feedback configuration. In the open loop configuration, op-amp acts as a comparator. It compares the inputs. In the positive feedback configuration, op-amp acts as an oscillator. So those are RC phase shift oscillator, Wien bridge oscillator and Schmitt-Trigger. In the negative feedback configuration, the applications are instrumentation amplifier, integrator and differentiator. So these are the different applications of op-amp in different configurations. The second unit is mainly about the applications of op-amp. Next, in third unit, we discuss active filters. How to make or how to design a filter using op-amp. For any electronic system, the filter is the important component which removes unwanted frequencies. So, designing a filter is very much important for any electronic system. So, we all know that the filters are mainly classified into 4 groups: low pass filter, high pass filter, band pass and band reject. Okay. Mainly in third unit we discuss those 4 types using op-amp. Next one is about the regulators. You have already studied this topic in basic electronic devices and circuits. There you made the regulator using the discrete components. This subject is mainly about the integrated circuits. So here we will see a different ICs for regulators. Those are LM regulators. Here LM represents manufacturer. So mainly we are going to discuss about 3 terminal regulators in integrated circuit form. The fourth unit is about timers and PLL. So here we discuss about the 555 timer. So 555 is the IC number. So in this unit, up to third unit, we discuss only IC 741. In the fourth unit, we are studying about a new IC is 555 timer. So 555 timer mainly used in the applications are astable and monostable. So astable multivibrator can be used to generate a square wave, and monostable is used to generate delays. So mainly we see these 2 applications using 555 timer, and this can be used for FSK generation, frequency shift key. So you have studied this in communication. There you have directly studied about the frequency shift keying. So but you haven't studied how to generate that. So here you see the system how to generate FSK. Later, voltage controlled oscillator, phase locked loop using IC number is PLL 565. It is the IC number. So these are PLL and voltage controls. PLL and voltage controlled oscillator are important blocks in receiver. If you take any receiver system of your communication system, VCO and PLR are important blocks. So the designing of PLL and VCO are very much important as a electronic engineer. The fifth unit is about data converters. In the real life, all signals or all physical signals are in analog form. Take voltage signal or a temperature signal or a humidity signal, all are in the analog form. But all systems are the digital systems. To process this analog data by using a digital system, we need a converter. Those are analog to digital converter and digital to analog converter. Again, the output must be a analog signal. So, we need data converters to convert analog information into digital information and digital information to analog information. So here DAC stands for digital to analog converter and ADC stands for analog to digital converter. So there are different ways to design DACs and ADCs. Okay, is about 15. Okay, so like this, the 5 units are arranged to design an electronic system by using integrated circuits. Yeah. The next one, the course outcomes. After successfully completion of the course, the students are able to make, after successful completion of the course, the student are able to make the things, those are called the course outcomes. Okay. So here the course outcome 1 is understand the characteristics and specification of the operational amplifier. Is the outcome of the first unit. In the first unit, you study the operational amplifier and its characteristics. Okay. So after completion of the first unit, the students should be able to understand the characteristics and specifications of the operational amplifier. Next, second outcome is able to analyze operational amplifier based circuits, because the second unit is about different applications using the op-amp. After successful completion of the second unit, the student must be able to analyze any circuit using a operational amplifier. Next, third outcome. Third outcome is design various types of filters and regulators using operational amplifiers. In the third unit, we study different filters and designing of different filters as well as designing of regulators. After successful completion of the third unit, you are able to make a filter for a specific applications and design a regulator for a required voltage. Next, fourth outcome. So fourth outcome is applications of timer, phase lock loop PLL and VCO oscillators. Okay, so you have to understand and analyze the applications of timer, PLL and VCO oscillator. And fifth one is about the data converters. So you have to understand the concepts of data converters. Is the outcome of fifth unit. After successful completion of all 5 units, you must design and verify electronic circuits using ICs. It is the final objective of the course. After successful completion of the 5 units, you have to make a system, okay, design and analyze that system using different linear ACs. Is the outcome of the textbooks for this subject. So the first one is Ramakant Gaikwad. Okay, so op amps and linear integrated circuits, 4th edition. And the second book is Clayton Operational Amplifier, 5th edition. So these two are the textbooks, and these are the references. So here, so the fourth one you have already studied for ECA, Milliamps, which is microelectronics, and 2 and 3 are the very good books for linear ICs, and first one is important for OTAs, operational transconductance amplifiers. So 2 and 3 are very much important. So most of the problems will be discussed from 2 and 3 reference books. See, this subject is theory cum lab, means so for this subject you will perform the lab also. So if you see the lab experiments, mainly there are 10 experiments. Okay, so the first few experiments on 741 op amp, and so the first one is op amp as non-inverting amplifier, and the second one is op amp as adder and subtractor, and third one is op amp as a differentiator, and fourth one the function generator design using 741 op amp, and fifth one filters design. Here HPF means high pass filter, it is a first order filter, and sixth one is astable multi-vibrator design using 555 timer, and seventh one is data converters designed by using 741 op amp. Okay, so and eighth one is voltage regulator using 78 series and 79 series. The last two digits represents the output voltage. Here first two digits represents the series, and ninth one is on PLL and 10th one is on PCO. Here lab experiments are totally correlated with the syllabus. In this module, you will learn about the types and construction of ICs. Earlier, the size of computers used to be very big. However, nowadays, laptop computers and palm-top computers are available. Wondering what made the miniaturization of electronic gadgets possible? The answer is integrated circuits. IC stands for integrated circuits. Integrated circuits have a large role to play in the miniaturization of electronic gadgets. Earlier, the electronic circuits were prepared using transistors, diodes, and resistors by joining those using conducting wires. Because of this, these circuits were huge and bulky. Further, these circuits were not reliable, so an attempt was made to fabricate an entire circuit consisting of many components such as diodes, resistors, inductors, capacitors on a small single block of a semiconductor connected with the help of metal strips gave rise to the concept of integrated circuits. ICs are found in almost all gadgets like cars, televisions, CD players, and cell phones. The size of an IC is about 1 millimeter by 1 millimeter. Being so small in size, ICs have made the miniaturization of electronic gadgets possible. ICs can be grouped into categories depending on the nature of the input signals. They are A. Linear or analog ICs and B. Digital ICs. In linear ICs, the input signals are analog signals which change smoothly and continuously over a range of values between a maximum and a minimum. In this case, the output is almost directly proportional to the input. That is, it varies linearly with the input. Operational amplifier is an example of linear ICs. In digital ICs, the input signal are digital signals that have only two values. They contain circuits such as logic gates based on the number of logic gates present in an. They contain circuits such as logic gates based on the number of logic gates present in it. Digital ICs can be further classified as SSI, MSI, LSI and VLSI. SSI means small scale integration. It has less than 10 logic gates per square millimeter. MSI means medium scale integration. It has less than 100 logic gates per square millimeter. LSI means large scale integration. These chips have 100 to 1000 logic gates per square millimeter. VLSI stands for very large scale integration chips. They have more than 1000 logic gates per square millimeter. If you see the IC fabrication, there are many internal components. The internal connection between the components is made by passing aluminum wafer. The chip is enclosed in a protective plastic case. Finally, with the help of thin aluminum leads, the connectors are taken out, and this is how the standard package IC is manufactured. This type of IC, in which the entire circuit is formed on a single silicon crystal, is called monolithic IC. These are the mostly widely used ICs. If large number of monolithic ICs is embedded on a ceramic substrate, is known as hybrid ICs. So till now we have seen what is an IC, what are the differences between integrated circuits and discrete circuits. Later we have seen what are the different types of ICs and what is the difference between monolithic ICs and hybrid ICs. The next topic is IC packages. ICs are available in different packages. See, packages is nothing but encapsulation. Okay, we give a protection to the internal circuit. So mainly the IC packages are classified as metal can package, dual in-line package and flat package. Yeah. If you see here, the first, this one is the metal can package. Okay, so this type of structure you might have seen in EDC laboratory. Okay, and this one is dual in-line package. So if you see this IC, on both sides leads are there, and this part is the plastic. So that's why this is called dual in-line plastic package. And this one is flat package. Okay, so the package is made with the ceramic, that's why it is called ceramic flat pack. So how to choose the package? That is the important question. There are three packages: metal can package, dual in package and flat pack. How to choose a IC package? Yeah, see the criteria. So when we go for the metal can package, okay, so when heat dissipation is important, when IC do more heat dissipation, then we go for the metal can package. Those are power amplifiers, voltage regulators, etc. If you see the power amplifier IC, it generates or it gives more heat dissipation. Okay, so in that case we go for the metal can package. Next, DIP. DIP means dual in line package. Okay, so this package is preferable mainly in the laboratory purpose. For experimental or breadboard purpose. Okay, so these ICs mainly suitable for the PCB boards. So DIP packages are the low cost packages. That's why we prefer the DIP package for the laboratory purpose. As well as we put these ICs on PCBs to make a system. Next, flat pack. Flat pack is more reliability and lightweight. Wherever lightweight is needed, there we go for the flat pack. So those are airborne applications. In airborne applications, we prefer flat pack. So once again see, metal can is preferable where more heat dissipation is there. DIP package is preferable in laboratory ICs and the ICs which we put on PCBs to make a system. Flat pack, wherever lightweight is needed, okay, there we go for the flat pack. And one more that, if you make any application, okay, so those applications come into these three categories. Any application comes into these three categories. So one is the military application, the second one is industrial application, and the third one is the commercial application. So if you take military applications, the temperature range is -55 to 125 degrees centigrade. If you make any system, that system should sustain this temperature range, -55 to 125 degrees. Sometimes it is -55 to 85 degrees also. Okay, so when you are making military applications, you have to choose ICs according to this. Next, industrial applications. Industrial application temperature range is this one, -20 degrees to 85 degrees. Sometimes it is -45 to 85 also. Okay, so based on the temperature range, you have to choose IC which can withstand this temperature range. Commercial application means the systems which we use in the home or anywhere. So those are commercial temperature range is 0 degrees to 70 degrees. Sometimes it is 0 to 75 also. So we make any system for these three applications. Okay. Before making a system for a particular application, we have to consider the temperature range also. We have to consider the temperature range also. According to the temperature, we go for the ICs. Next. In the market, there are different manufacturers who manufacture ICs. If IC is made by Fairchild, okay, that IC number starts with new A or new AF. If IC is made by National Semiconductors, okay, so the IC number starts with LM or LH, LF or TDA. In the previous slides, we have seen this number LM741. Okay, here 741 is the IC number and LM means manufacturer. So if IC starts with the LM, that means is made by the National Semiconductors. So if is made by the Motorola, the letters are MC or MFC. If company is RCA, then the letters are CA or CD. If it is Texas Instruments, it starts with SN. If it is Signetix, it starts with N by S or NE by SE. So if it is made by Buckrom, starts with the PB. Okay. So based on the letters, we can identify who made that IC. See here, a few examples are given. So this one is New A 741. Here 741 is the number. The first two digits represents the manufacturer. New A means this IC is made by the Fairchild. So here this is the IC number. The first two digits represents the manufacturer. So LM is for National Semiconductors. MC is Motorola. CA is RCA. SN is Texas Instruments. And N means Signetix. So based on the first letters, we identify the manufacturer. There are some extensions after IC number. Let's see what they represent. If it is a simple 741, is nothing but it is a military graded op-amp. Means is made for the military applications. 741C is meant commercialized grade op-amp. Is for commercial applications. 741A is improved version of the 741. So it is the improved version of 741. 741E means improved version of 741C. Okay. So first they make IC. So following they improve the performance of that IC is called improved version. Okay. First they made the 741C. Later they improved the performance of that and is named as 741E. Next, 741S is military graded op-amp with high slew rate. Okay, so here military graded op-amp are two are there. One is with high slew rate and one is with the normal slew rate. So wherever you need high slew rate for your application, there you go for 741S. And 741SC is commercially graded op-amp with high slew rate. Okay. So don't blindly go for the 741. So based on your requirement, select the IC. If it is a military application, then go for 741. If it is a commercial application, go for 741C. If you need high slew rate for military application, go for 741S. If it is commercial application and you need high slew rate, then go for 741S. So by seeing the op-amp IC number, how to identify? So what is who is the manufacturer and what type of package is that? Okay. So let's see how to identify those. So here this is one op-amp IC number LM741CN. It is divided into three parts: prefix, designator and suffix. Prefix represent manufacturer. Okay, so each manufacturer has different prefix. Okay, so analog devices is AD, Haris HARCA, Fairchild NUARKA, National Semiconductors LM, Signetics NUISC, Bergron BBROPA, Silicon General SG, Texas Instruments TA. So these are the different prefixes for different manufacturers. Okay, so by seeing the prefix, we say who manufactured that IC. Next, after 741, whatever the letter is, that letter represents for what applications it was made. If it is C, is made for commercial application. If it is I, is made for industrial application. If it is M, is made for military applications. Okay, is very much important. Next, suffix. Suffix represents package. If it is D or VD, it is surface mount package. If it is J, ceramic dual inline package. N, P or VP is plastic dip package. DM means micro surface mount package. So like this, we identify who made that IC and for what applications it is made and what type of package is that. So like this, we identify the IC. So these are the references. Thank you.